Welcome to this Food Innovation Talk presented by Food and Biocluster Denmark in collaboration with Food Supply. Food and Biocluster Denmark is the new supercluster working to maximize and drive innovation within the food and bioresource industry in Denmark. My name is Helle Vedel Friis and I will be your host today. Today we are focusing on canned food as a superfood. More specific, canned fish, nutrition, sustainability, and chemistry. And to share valuable insights from this industry, I have invited Rania from Saeby Fish Canners. And Saeby Fish Canners is the world leading producer of canned mackerel in a chemical-free way. At their production site in Saeby in the northern of Jutland, they produce not less than 450,000 canned mackerels every single day. And I am so pleased to have Rania with me here today. She has worked in the production, with sales and with marketing. So you are the right person to share these insights with us. And for those of you watching, if you have some thoughts or questions or inputs to today's talk, please send them in by filling the form underneath the video stream. Then I will receive it right here and I will bring it into the talk with Rania. And please let us know that you are there, that you are watching by filling out the form to the right. It's also this way you can receive today's presentation. And first, Rania, could you please introduce yourself and the story of Saeby Fish Canners?
Of course. So my name is Rania Abdullah, and I am the sales and marketing coordinator at Saeby Fish Canners. I'm just going to take you through our timeline from when we started until today, just to show you how we have innovated our business. So Saeby Fish Canners was established in 1947. In 1949, Christian Vanggaard took over the company. From the beginning, we were producing both prawns and mackerel, but in 1972, we specialized only in the mackerel production, which is what we have as a main focus today, and it is our main product and the only product actually. In 1997, we had our first production at Gyldendalsvej, which is where we are at today. In 1992, we built our own biological treatment plant. In the early 2000s, we innovated a lot, built a lot to the factory. So we built new cold store facilities. We installed 11 robots to help with the packaging of our products. And we also built a second factory, which gave us a capacity of 50 extra million cans per year. And lately, this year, we purchased some green energy, and we're also working on some recyclable packaging, which I hopefully can share with you later on this year. Yeah, that was a bit about us.
And what an exciting journey you have been through the past several years. And to begin with the basics of today's topic, how do you characterize a superfood?
So a superfood is a food that is nutritionally good for your health. It contains a variety of nutrients such as antioxidants. It also has a lot of healthy fats and fibers. And a fish such as mackerel has a lot of these fatty acids in omega-3.
Yeah. And this product you have, the canned mackerel, we have some here as well. That is, yes, a canned product.
Yeah.
And canned foods are not normally the most popular choice for the consumer. How do you look at this aspect in your company?
Well, what we can see is that preserved food usually has this bad reputation, mostly because people think of canned food and they directly think chemicals, because how else can you store a canned food, not just mackerel, but any canned food for 5 years, 10 years and more. But that's not the reality anymore. Many companies don't use chemicals the same as us. So I'm actually going to show you today how you can actually preserve the canned food. I'm going to show you the example from our company, how we preserve the canned mackerel by using only natural methods and processes. And it's this heat treatment, which we will talk about later on.
Great.
Yeah.
And can you share some more about the fish you use in your product and the nutritional aspects of it?
Of course. So the first step towards having this nutritious product is, of course, all the ingredients. And for us, it's very important to have that specific fish, the specific ingredients from a specific area, and of course also catch it at a specific time. So the mackerel that we use is the North Atlantic scumbus mackerel, and it so the scumbus mackerel is one of the most sustainable and the lowest in environmental contaminants, and it actually has the lowest mercury level in the pelagic species of mackerel. If we look at some of the health benefits that mackerel has, a study actually shows that a serving of 141 grams of scumbus, which is approximately 2 cans of our canned mackerel, it has more than 4 times the vitamin B12 of wild salmon. It has almost as much iron as steak. It has more potassium than a banana. It has nearly triple the selenium of chicken breast, about 990 milligrams of the fatty acid DHA, and 740 milligrams of EPA fatty acid, and also 9.4 milligrams of the coenzyme Q10.
Okay,
yeah.
It really sounds like that you have a very nutritious product here, and especially the fatty acids you are sharing with us, the DHA and EPA, are some of the fatty acids that at least majority of the Danish population is lacking.
Yeah,
so it
and
sounds like especially
the DHA and EPA is actually very important for smaller kids. I'll tell you a bit about why it's so important for them to actually eat a fatty fish as mackerel.
Very nice. And can you share some more insights on why you use a specific area to catch your fish in?
Sure. So we fish in the area that's called FAO 27. That's on your right side. So all the purple markings is where the scumbus mackerel is at. So that's where we find the North Atlantic scumbus. And we fish from this area because it has less mercury. And again, it has the lowest mercury concentration of 0.04 milligrams.
Okay. And from a sustainability point of view, many question the catching of the fish. Can you tell us about your procedure?
Of course. So as with any other fish, there are some quotas that we have to follow. So the quota we have for the scumbus mackerel, it has 2 seasons. So we have a season from October to November, and then a new quota will start again in January. So we mainly fish during the fall, mostly because that's when there are the largest steams of mackerel, and it also has the highest fat percentage of up to 26%. So and it also actually has the shortest streaming time. So it doesn't take so long from the trawler to catch the fish from FAO 27 and to bring it home to Denmark. So when we catch the fish, our trawlers catch the fish, they are landed in the harbors of Hirtshals or Skagen, where we have these independent surveyors which will quality check the mackerel for weight, quality, before it comes to the factory in Saeby. So it doesn't have so many stepping stones before it actually arrives to the company. So we fish once a year for a whole year's production, and that's how we keep the mackerel production going, also considering the ocean.
Yeah. And now you have the mackerel out of the sea.
Yes.
In this procedure you're sharing with us. Now I am so curious to figure out your production side.
Yes.
So how can you create this product without the usage of chemistry and chemicals?
Well, we're very proud of our production and of our company. We have a very large company, and we do everything about the canned mackerel. So everything you see here and many of the products you actually see in the stores has been produced in the small town of Saeby in northern Jutland. So in 1972, as I mentioned earlier, we specialized in the production of mackerel. And the next few slides I'm just going to take you through the processes that we go through. So when the mackerel is landed in Saeby, the heels and tail will be cut off and all the insides will be vacuumed out. So we have a clean mackerel. And right after that, it's being washed and cleaned, and then it will be individually quick frozen to -30 degrees. It's called this IQF freezing method. And afterwards, it will be stored in our own cold store facilities, and it comes into these separate cells, which also ensures full traceability all the way back to the catch, actually. So on the account of the low freezing mackerel, the mackerel can actually be stored for a full year without becoming rancid. And then the first step of the chemical-free production is actually our skinning. We are the only producer of canned mackerel of our size that skin all our mackerel without use of any chemicals such as caustic soda and hydrochloric acid, sorry. So the combination of this individually frozen mackerel and the hot water, it loosens the skin. So it's easier for us to remove the skin without using any chemicals. So after the skinning, and that's actually what you see on the photo, it's the hot water that's being sprinkled all over the mackerels. So after it gets all the hot water on it, it is steamed in these long cabins before it comes to the production part. Yeah, and so after the skinning, all our mackerels actually hand filleted. It's manually filleted. And you can say, why haven't you automatized this process as well? But we actually see it as a benefit because it gives us another opportunity to quality check the mackerel by vision. So it's being hand filleted, and then it will be canned. And afterwards, it will be filled with some home-made sauces and oils that are specially developed for different customers, and they are applied automatically to the cans. And there are no artificial additives in any of our sauces either.
So you have managed to skin the fish and got them in only with heat and water, you could basically say. But then when it comes to the canning, and don't you need to use any kind of preservation to make a product that can last so long?
Well, that's actually what has been in the industry for many years. But we conserve our cans. So after the can has been filled with the mackerel and the sauce or the oil, it is hermetically sealed, which means that no air can break in. That's the goal of it. So after that, the mackerel will be sterilized inside the can. And to make sure that no bacteria actually develops, we put all the cans in an incubation store for up to 7 days or more. Depends, different customers have different needs. And before they get packed, they are also again X-rayed and vision controlled. So we have a lot of quality checks, which is very important because it is a food that we are consuming.
Well, what an impressive method, and hopefully you can inspire other food producing companies to go this natural way in the production side, if that's what they wish to do. And if you have a question for Rania or this method that they are using, please fill in the form below the stream, and I will bring the question in right away. But now I need to ask you, do you see canned food as a superfood? And maybe you have some specific examples?
Well, I see canned mackerel from Saeby Fish Canners as a superfood. And the whole presentation I've been talking about why our canned food is a superfood. So I'm just going to break it down into 3 proofs for you. So the first part, we have the mackerel, which is the Scombus scombus. It's the North Atlantic mackerel. It has the least mercury concentration. And also the time frame where we catch the mackerel, we catch it when it is at its fattest and where it has the most nutrients. And also mackerel has all these health benefits. So it is loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, including the DHA and EPA, which actually helps support kids' health, the cell growth, and also the eyesight during the early stages of life, and also brain development. It also contains selenium, which helps power organ function and protect against toxins. And we also have the vitamin B and B6 and B12, which provide energy. So it's a very healthy, it's a healthy product, but also you can always produce a chemical-free product, but the contents are important as well, because you want to eat something that actually gives you something. So my second proof is the source. At Saeby, you get what you see from the can. So you don't have to look up any chemical terms. So I'm just going to show you. I have a few examples, but maybe you want to be my independent surveyor and show them. So if you choose a can and just show them what kind of ingredients do you see on the back of the can.
Well, I've chosen here a mackerel fillet. It says here it's in tomato, but I'm going to read to you the ingredients list. Mackerel, water, tomato concentrate, and salt.
And that's it?
That's it.
That's simply it. So we value a lot that people can take a can and actually just judge it by its cover and actually have the truth on the inside as well. So here I also have the Saeby mackerel fillet in rapeseed oil, and it has mackerel fillet, rapeseed oil, water, and salt. So I'm just going to show you a few examples yourself so you can see that we're not making this up. So as you can see here, I found some old cans of ours. So if you don't speak Danish, it says mackerel fillet, rapeseed oil, water, crushed black pepper, salt, and lemon oil. And for the English speakers, we have this can of mackerel fillets in tomato sauce. You see mackerel, water, tomato paste, and salt. And lastly, I have a more interesting product maybe, the mackerel fillet in spiced tomato sauce. So I can't see that far, but I know it has mackerel fillet, water, tomato paste, sugar, spirit vinegar, salt, and spices. So you get what you see from our products. So the last proof that I have is, of course, the preservation, which is the most important part, and it's the process that you should be aware of whenever you buy canned mackerel or any other canned good. So our process of preserving the cans is all natural. So because the canned mackerel is sterilized in the can, so you can actually keep it for many years, and we don't have to use any preservatives. So does this mean that I can keep my canned mackerel for 3, 5, 10, 15 years? We actually, at our factory, at our production in our offices, we found some very old cans. I can't remember how many years, but it was past due. But it seemed like it was good, so we actually opened it and tasted it, and you couldn't taste the difference. Like, you couldn't see if it was produced 2 weeks ago or 5 years ago. But also, I just want to share a tip with you, so you can see for yourself if your canned mackerel is good or if you should actually bin it. So what you have to look for is if the can is bulging. So Hille, if the can is bulging, what should you do? What do you think?
I don't know, but hopefully you will share with me.
So if it's bulging, what do you think? What
normally
should you do?
I'm at home, I will bin it.
You will bin it if it's bulging, yeah?
Yes.
And that's exactly what you do. And if it's not bulging, you can eat it. But again, it's up to you. If you don't want to eat a can that's past its best before date, you don't have to. So luckily, we don't see so many examples of it bulging. That means that the product maybe isn't sterilized anymore. Maybe it was sterilized. It was sterile at some point, but the sterilization actually neutralizes over the years. So I can't show you an example of an actual can, but I sat down with the CEO and we made a drawing for you. So as you can see, if it bulges outwards, that means that there's air in the can and maybe bacteria has developed. But if it bulges inwards, maybe the can only just got hit or something like that, so you can easily eat it. Just a small tip again, if the can is bulging and you want to bin it, don't just throw it to the bin. You should open it slowly. It might explode a little, so sauce can be everywhere, and then you bin it. Yeah.
That's a great tip. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. You're welcome. that was actually the presentation for today.
Well, thank you, Rania, so much for sharing your insights. And if you have a question for Rania, please fill in the form below, and I will bring the question in. And we have already received some questions from you out there. We have a question here from Jacob. He is asking, this canned food in general, where do you see that going and developing over the next maybe 5 years?
Well, what we can see is over the years it has always increased, and we will see that it will actually continue to increase, mostly due to the higher focus on food safety, and we can actually secure the customer and the consumer a sterile product with the high security of even quality, because the product is sterilized inside the can, the mackerel is sterilized inside the can, and it's a convenience product. It's easy to keep. You don't have to put it in the freezer. You don't have to put it in the refrigerator. You can just have it anywhere. You can have it here on the table. And again, it's a convenience product, so you can actually eat it in so many different ways. We have a great recipe universe on our website, so you can actually get inspired by that on there. Yeah, hopefully that answered the question.
That sounds great. And I'm definitely look up the recipe universe for using, because I would also say for myself, as a consumer, I know this product and I'll use it for lunch and with bread. But it sounds like there is more to be explored in this mackerel universe. It's
a very traditional product for Danish consumers. So the first time I tasted it myself, I had it on rye bread as well, with some cucumber and probably some mayo, because mayo and mackerel is a great combination. But what we see abroad, people actually use it instead of chicken, tuna, so you can use it in all kinds of foods. So just think of canned mackerel as a protein, and you already know it's a very healthy product, and it's natural, so it's as fresh as it gets.
Great. And we have received another question on the product itself, because it's clearly a very high quality and nutritious product you have. But why do you think it's so cheap? Because in the store I can buy it for 10 kroner, maybe sometimes even 5 kroner. It's very cheap product for very high quality.
I'm just going to answer this very shortly, because I can't say if it's cheap or if it's expensive. I think it depends on the person you ask, but we follow the market prices for this category of canned food, so the prices are okay. So that's all I can say.
Good. And we have received another question from Christina out there. She's asking about these chemical-free products. How do you have a way that I can see if the product I'm standing in front of, that's chemical-free produced?
Yes. Well, I can't say about all canned food, but I can say how you can see if, so you already know that canned mackerel from Saeby Fish Canners is chemical-free. So one way to look at it, well, you can look at Saeby, you can look for that, but we're also a private label producer, so sometimes we are hiding behind another name, of course. So you can actually take the can. Unfortunately, I can't show you an example right now, but you can take the can and you can look at this can, for example, the Saeby can. At the bottom, there's a circle and it says DK 2044EF. So any can that has this circle or this label, it means that it's produced in Saeby and with our standards, with our mackerel, so it's always chemical-free produced. Maybe you can see it actually. Let me just go back in some of my other proofs. Let me see. So you can see next to the square of the ingredients, you can actually see that it says DK 2044EF. The same here, you can see it larger beneath Eat Well. It says DK 24EF. So you know it's produced in Denmark and it's chemical free, and you can eat it every day, all the time.
Well, it's a great tip and something very easy to look for as a consumer.
Yeah, definitely.
Great. Well, thank you so much for answering that question, Rania. And that is the time we have for today on this topic. So I want to thank you for watching. And if you still have a question for Rania, please just send it in and we will follow up with you directly. And if you want to stay updated on news and activities from Food and Biocluster Denmark, you can sign up to our newsletter on our website. Thank you all for watching and have a nice day. Thank you for watching this Food Innovation Talk, presented by Food and Biocluster Denmark. Hope to see you soon and have a nice day.